know, we just label a kid that got ADD and we throw prescription drugs at him. You know, you got a young kid that really just needed to be let loose.
You know, the culture of being a surfer or skateboarder is you're gonna smoke some pot, man. You're gonna crack a beer open, you're gonna get drunk, you're gonna fight. When school got out, I ain't trying to go to the fucking football field. I'm trying to go smoke weed, down to the beach, go skate.
State Beach, I mean, that place is it bred dropouts and losers and people that were headed for the wrong side of the tracks.
The guys you idolize that were really good surfers and skaters were doing it, so I'm gonna do it.
And San Diego was a hotbed for those type of drugs in the 80s and 90s. I mean, it was a hotbed.
Nonetheless, the influence of surf and skate and the pros were there. The partying was there, the drug use was there, the rebellion was there. I wanted to make a name for myself, so I became a pretty good street fighter.
Brandon was always older and a little more extreme than us. In my own sick, twisted head, I just remember thinking, like, one day I'm gonna be that crazy. And it's fucking weird, it's twisted to think that, but I remember thinking that one day I'm gonna be that fucking crazy. With Brandon Glade, everybody like knew about Brandon Glade. And Brandon Glade was nuts. There was a definite correlation between like the adrenaline rush that I got from fighting. It's like it goes hand in hand with like doing drugs and alcohol, for me at least. Not everybody's like that, you know, there's not every fighter's a drug addict or alcoholic. But there's a lot of alcoholics and drug addicts that are fighters.
This is June 3rd, 1995.
Oh, look at all the pictures.
Hey, it's like a premiere.
I graduated high school in '96 and I was getting flowed free stuff and I was riding for a company that wasn't that big, but we would travel around the US, do competitions. And I knew guys that I grew up with or guys that I just met through being in that realm, that industry. You kind of ride a couple coattails here and you just want to live that lifestyle. It was fun, you're a kid, like that's what you do, you know. 1997 or 98, I had my first experience with crystal. And I liked it. Maybe it was my own philosophy in my head of self-medication, but what happened? And I knew that amphetamine was a derivative from also what I used to take. It was a definite downward spiral of what was to come. Nobody wanted to have anything to do with me anymore. I was pretty much homeless, wasn't skating at all. I was just chasing the bag. I was hanging out with the wrong crowd. I was always in the neighboring city, our rival city. If you were from Carlsbad, Oceanside was always your rival. So, you know, it was more gangsters, more hoods over there. So, you know, if that's what you want to be, that's where you want to hang out. And you had to make your name for yourself there because you were more of a little bitch if you came from Carlsbad. So I had to make sure that that wasn't the case. You know, I was kicked out of the last tweaker pad. I had some weed and some speed on me. And I don't know what happened to me, man, but I honestly can tell you to this day, I don't know why, other than I was under the influence, and maybe it was a cry for help, but I walked in the back door of a fast food restaurant, and I robbed him at gunpoint. I didn't even know how much money I had. I didn't even count that. I was gonna roll up some weed and try to come off that freaking roller coaster ride, and I look out the window and sure enough, my heart dropped. You know, I told the cop, you know, the money's there, the gun's there, I got some speed in my pocket, there's weed on the table. They called my dad and you know, that was tough because when you raise your kids, like, unconditional love is like hard to come by.
Guilty of count 1, sentenced to 19 to 48 months. defendant has to pay the following statutory fees: $25 administrative assessment fee, $3 DNA administrative fee, $150 DNA testing fee, $250 indigent defense fund fee, and 124 days credit.
You know, I got love, man. I got 3 years. It could have been a whole lot worse. And that started a journey. It really set the tone for who I am today in the sense of sharing my pain, but sharing my triumph through that pain.
Here they come. There's Brandon. He's out. He's out. Hi. Hi, sweetie.
You know, I went, I did 3 years, man. I fell in love with fitness. I fell in love with the Lord again. I fell in love with firefighting too, man. The prison had a firehouse there where it was staffed by normal captains and a chief, but the 8 firefighters there were inmates. So I tried my best to get out there, and I eventually did. So the last year and a half of my term, I got to go out there, and we got to go fight the Cedar Fire, which is the biggest fire San Diego's ever seen. In 2003, they called us out. You know, our captain and 3 inmate firefighters in a structure rig, not just a wildfire rig, but we were an actual pumper truck, a Type 1. And that was like, I was like, whoa, man, this is kind of cool, you know, being a part of the solution as opposed to the problem.
You know, I was talking to his mom one day when I was surfing, and I said, hey, you know, Brandon's got a good personality. Let's get him into doing something, because he can't go run hot shots forever and fight fires. Get your certification, study, work your ass off, you know, do something good. When you get out, you handle this, and I'll make sure you get a job.
I saw loyalty. I saw just a guy that could make a difference in other people's lives through his story, and that's really why I hired him, knowing that he had, you know, had already been in jail at that time. You know, he was making a change in his life, and for me, that was a no-brainer for a guy that could help other people that have been struggling with whatever they're struggling with.
So when I got out from that, I was like, you know, I had a little bit of direction. I got a job at a gym in Encinitas, and but then I was free again, man. So like, when you're in those environments and you have choices, but for me, it's like, you know, it's like I know God wanted me to draw closer to Him, but also just get my shit straight.
For me, and I think, you know, for a lot of other people, it's just, you know, it's really important, I feel like, to have those physical activities in life to kind of just really good for your mental state, you know?
We met up one night at a bar, and I remember I was drinking, and he was sober. And then he's like, yeah, man, I can really help you out with your footwork. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it.
Stay out of that middle, Jay. Stay out of that middle. Game plan.
Him getting out of prison or anything didn't make me look at him negatively. He was one of the guys one of the older guys that grew up how I grew up.
He was one of my strength and conditioning coach for Bellator Fighting Championships. One fight we won against Vladimir Matyushenko, and that was awesome. And then the other fight I fought for the world title, and that was not so good. I lost. Got my jaw broke. That sucked. But I had Brandon there with me.
Joey lived in New York.
Jersey.
Oh, Jersey, my bad. Forget about it. That's for you, Joe Bud. Jersey, what?
He's like the Energizer Bunny, constant source of positivity, motivation.
Joey just got done pampering himself. Joey, how you doing over there?
Yeah, man. You couldn't really ask for anything more as far as a trainer in that aspect.
January 25th, 2012. I was there for the Vulcan Pipe Pro, and I was just in the water early, warming up before my heat. And it wasn't a big wave. I just fell on the right spot, and the wave sucked me up and over and just landed on my butt, pretty much like landing on this concrete from 2 stories up. And I crushed my vertebrae 7 months after I broke my back. we were doing sand sprints or some kind of cone drills in the sand, and it got me mentally prepared for the Jaws 12 the next week. I didn't know this 12 was coming, and all of a sudden it popped up, but I remember thinking like I was so confident in myself because of my endurance that I had built with BG.
Basically, yeah, I love what I did. It was fun. I was happy, I was healthy, but I wasn't ready to let go of that lifestyle quite yet.
He's got his demons, and you know, it takes a while for people to get unstuck and find that pain point where, you know, they finally are done.
One of the things they teach you in AA is don't get hooked up with a romantic relationship for a year. Well, maybe it took Brandon a week. And so we loved his little girlfriend, and it was really sweet, but then when she moved to LA, he went up to help her move. He was just sad that she moved, and he was up there and he had a glass of wine. And that was the beginning of the slide down.
He ended up getting nabbed by that demon again. He got back, he started taking hits off the pipe.
That started him back on the track, booze to pot to meth. You know, it just, and even his drinking, pot smoking friends thought he was the lowlife for using the meth. You know, they were like, oh, whoa, we're not that bad. Look at him. And they were probably right.
You're going and you're hanging out in Oceanside with like people that'll, you know, they'll shank you just as soon as they look at you, smile, pat you on the back, and take the wallet out of your back pocket. And he was hanging out with those people on the daily.
I was orchestrating a couple different things where we were doing home invasions on drug dealers. They're not going to call the cops on us. If we die, we die. Or if there's gun exchange, that's the way it's going to go. But let's go rob them for their drug money and their drugs.
Dude, what the fuck is up with AJ Smith firing Schottenheimer, dude? 14-2 season.
That's
you
bullshit.
Fucking
Serious. You're talking about the Chargers
Dude.
when we're actually doing
Well, what the
this
fuck,
thing.
dude? At 14-2 season, you can't just go get rid of the goddamn head coach.
How are you gonna get your head out
Dude,
of it?
fucking AJ Smith's
You gotta be
an
focused.
idiot,
Wait, talk
bro.
about the Chargers.
Unbelievable, dude. How do you fire your head coach after a 14-2 season? Quarterback should have been MVP of the league, dude.
You gotta be focused, man.
AJ Smith's a fucking idiot. Schottenheimer is a ripping coach, bro.
You're taking forever with that. Come on, let's go.
Patriots.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
Dude, just shut up and follow me.
Fucking lunchtime, man.
Let's go. Come on, dude, just a quarter ounce and a little bit of cash. Let's go. When we did the home invasion, we left and we got busted. There was cameras. So the cops eventually found me, and they came and they locked me up for the second time. And that was a tough one, man.
I tell you, I thought I would die. I can remember right where I was. I was in my bathroom of my house, and he was begging us to bail him out, but there was no way. Well, we had no money. And I hope we wouldn't have anyway. I don't think we would have. I would know better now that I wouldn't. We had no money. There was just no way. It wasn't going to happen.
It's a tough pill to swallow because now you betrayed your own family, your own community, and it's hard to to build that trust back, man.
You know, it wasn't the trust that I couldn't trust him. It was the pain he was in. I knew I had a sick son, you know, unhealthy. You know, when my kids hurt, like most of us, I hurt. And even if they've done stupid things, you don't stop loving them, you know? So what it was like was, oh man, there was counseling, there was depression, there was anxiety on my part. It was tough.
Prison, it might be a part of my story and be a part of what I did to myself, but it was also a blessing in disguise, and it was a part of God's way of just kind of grabbing me by the shoulders and going, hey dude, wake up, man. And you know, my parents never gave up on me either. If you have people that believe in you, you start to believe in yourself. I got out, I started applying at every dang fire academy I could. I was honest about every damn crime and every time I went away. And eventually, Captain Kenneth Moffitt, who I owe a big one to, he had a friend at Sequan. So eventually they called me like, all right, Glade, so start running and doing your push-ups and all that, and you know, it's gonna be brutal, and it was. And I got there and Captain Alcantara goes, you know, oh, well, Brandon Glade. And dude, they ain't no joke out there. They run it straight military style. It's 3 weeks long, you barely get to sleep. It's as close as you can get to, I mean, it's paramilitaristic, so. But they want to make sure that they keep that standard of excellence with their wildfire crew. So I graduated top of my class, man. They gave away 3 awards. They gave away Most Motivated, Ironman, and Valedictorian, which with my ADD, there's no way I was getting anything valedictorian, but I won the other 2. I won Most Motivated, so, and Ironman. So I got out, eventually I got on their crew, and I fought wildfires with them for, you know, quite some years, man.